Welcome to A Dark Path, a podcast exploring the depths of witchcraft, magic, the occult, and all things mysterious. Join us on this journey into the unknown, down a dark path overgrown. Find spells and rituals, folklore and legends. Come, set your candles alight to clear your mind and unwind. Delve into the shadows to uncover a dark path.
Welcome back to A Dark Path, a podcast exploring the depths of witchcraft, magic, the occult, and all things mysterious. I'm Kristen Jackson. Kristen, it's
That's
supposed
No,
to be
it's
you.
confusing.
no, it's supposed to be you. It's just that I didn't switch this part.
I think you should just leave it.
I'm Allyson Hemma-Romane, owner of Jupiter's Omens, and winter is my favorite time of year.
I am Kristen Jackson, and I honestly, Christmas is one of the worst times of the year. The season's very hard and very difficult for me. So I try my best to make it as comfortable and as wonderful for myself as I can.
I'm Heidi Stock, owner of Wise Wolfcraft, and I fall somewhere right between you guys. I feel like I'm like on a wonderful roller coaster ride of loving the season and hating the season and loving the season and hating the season.
So I like the
So,
season, right? But I don't love the holiday season. There's a difference, I believe.
so interestingly, I want to love the holiday season very much. However, it is very stressful. Does that anybody else feel that?
Yeah.
Oh, would it
And
make me nice?
I've had a lot of bad medical news around the holiday season, so
Mm.
it gets a little difficult. And then my grandpa passed away on New Year's, so yeah,
Memories, traumatic
yeah,
memories.
yeah. So it's
But
not
the
the
holiday
funnest. And then on
season
top of
is
that,
ugh.
it's supposed to be this wonderful, joyous, everybody comes together and like kids are singing and laughing and dancing and people are arguing over a glove in Walmart. It's so I get a little conflicted. But the season, I like how Allison said, the season is wonderful. The holidays, not quite so much.
I also, and since we're coming out of Pacific Northwest, I will say this because so many of you, I'm sure, will relate. But I have a little dash of seasonal affective disorder too. So this lack of sunshine, it's hard having so little sun. It's very nice to like set stuff on fire to replicate sunshine and then
I mean,
stand
when
around
is it
it with
not
your
nice to set
friends.
things on fire?
There's just different reasons.
Today's episode is the second in our Sabbat series, Yule. In an excellent display of word witchery, Allison will continue our ritual with a poem.
On this frigid winter solstice of unending night, we gather to celebrate the return of sunlight, themes of death and rebirth that visit us all the same. With words laced with clove and nutmeg, we sing. A pine tree and holly of red, white, and green. Yule is a time for handmade gifts, Yule log fires, fruitcake, wassail, and wreath making. We invite you, please get cozy with hot cider or hot chocolate and enjoy this coldest time of year to the fullest, all of it.
It's spelled Yule, but you say it Yule, like with a double O. Yule.
Do you?
That's according to the Oxford Dictionary, which also describes that word as an archaic term for Christmas. So that's kind of funny to
And
me
racist.
personally. Well, I feel like it's a little limited,
Yeah.
a little bit of a limited definition. Also, super big holiday for lots of pagan folk. So kind of an interesting way to phrase it. But yeah, looks like we've also got the modern English noun Yule descends from Old English Gaul. Is that Gale?
Yol?
Gaul?
Yol?
Just not gonna open my mouth very well. Gaul, skole, Gaul,
Cool, cool.
indicating a 12-day festival of Yule, later Christmastide, or the 12 days of Christmas.
So some fact about Yule. The winter solstice So Yule is celebrated on the winter solstice, also known as midwinter, which is usually on December 21st or 22nd in the Northern Hemisphere. The winter solstice dates back to the Neolithic era. So this is like a long time ago, like cavemannies. The winter solstice is a time when the sun reaches its most southerly excursion related to the celestial equator on the celestial sphere. So, what that means is that the Earth's pole reaches its maximum tilt away from the sun. This is the point where the day is shortest and the night is the longest. And it is most visually noticeable the closer to the equator that you are.
Yule is a Germanic winter holiday celebrating the return of sunlight. In Celtic lore, it's a holiday celebrating the return of the Oak King. So I believe we talked about this in Samhain, didn't we, guys? Where the Holly King and the Oak King are always in this epic battle, right? And at Samhain, the Holly King wins. And so the days start to become shorter and the night becomes longer. This is the time of the year where the Oak King returns in order to fight and win on Beltane. So some stories are that the Oak King is reborn this time of year. It's a really weird story that I'm kind of unclear with. I don't have any sources on it. I'll try and find some before the show goes live. But the story that I had heard was that it was the Oak King impregnates the mother, and then he's lodged in his epic battle and he dies. He's slain by the Holly King at Samhain. And then the mother gives birth at the winter solstice, which is the return of the sun, who then grows up and becomes the Oak King to fight and defeat the Holly King at Beltane. But the mother is undying, so that's a weird concept to me.
Yeah, so I was actually gonna jump in
So you have
that
it.
you are
Okay.
you are correct. Yeah. Yeah. So he ends up that's why spring is fertility and bountiful because he is now in his
Prime,
more
sexual
adult.
prime.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that's perfect timing.
Interesting. That's a weird concept to like perpetually screw your own mother. He's his own grandpa.
Well, it's his mother, his lover, and then his grandma. So
He's like Fry from
yay.
Futurama. He's
Oh
his own
my gosh,
grandpa.
right?
And I went to a different guy. I went to Freud myself. So it sounds a little Freudian to me.
I
Little,
was like,
little,
how can I fit
Oh,
congrats.
Futurama into our podcast? Because it's
Little
my favorite
electric.
TV show and I need to talk about it at some point. And this
Because
feels like the best time. Yeah.
Futurama is like one of my top 10 all time. My wedding cake toppers were Fry and Leela.
Shut up.
That's
Why
not a
didn't I
joke.
know
No,
that?
that's real. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. My father-in-law made them a little arbor to stand under that matched our wedding arbor.
Oh my
And
God.
put it on top of the cake.
so great.
Yeah, is that hilarious? We have them still. Like, I mean, the arbor and stuff. I have it somewhere. I'll have to show you guys sometime. It's really sweet.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
missed it.
yeah. I didn't know you. It was a long time ago.
I
Yes.
know you.
Yeah, I'm married
You
in
were that
2012,
bad.
Bob.
I
That's a
got
couple
married in
years.
2012, the first time. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Historically, wintertime was a time for relaxation. We're having a rest from doing outside work and moving inside. So we're focusing on the home, the hearth, and preparing our space for all of the work that's going to happen outside once the fields are ready to be plowed. This is also when we've switched over to eating stored food, right? So there's not like a ton of hunting and gathering that's going on. Food supply is really low for everybody, so we're running through our food reserves. So we are feasting to celebrate the winter solstice, but there's only one holiday in the depth of winter, and it is this one. Cultural variations. I've got Welsh stuff, because ancestrally that means a lot to me, and I wanted to share it. Wassailing with the Mari Lwyd in South Wales. For those of you who don't know, Mari Lwyd is a horse head on a stick with a sheet, so it looks very like ghostly, spectrally. Sometimes there's ribbons, bells, it's decorated. It depends on like what everybody's feeling, you know. But the first time it was recorded happening was in 1800. The theory is that it goes way back, but that's just the first time that it was recorded. Men would gather in a group and carry the Mari Lwyd to local houses where they would request entry through a song. Heidi, you'll love this. So it's basically like musical in real life. So they would request to come inside your house with a song, and then you were expected to deny them through song. And then it would go back and forth and continue in this manner through song. And then eventually, if the homeowners relented, the men with the Mari Lwyd would be allowed to come in and given food and drink.
This is the classic, oh, give us some figgy pudding.
Yes, give us some figgy pudding right
Yes.
now.
Oh, give
Pudding.
us some figgy pudding. I just always think, what the hell, man? Like, ask. So
Yeah,
demanding.
but that's what it is. It's like,
It is,
yeah,
it's a
we're
game.
going, yes, it's a game. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm really excited because that's also in Samhain with the trick-or-treating and
Yes.
going around and getting the soul cakes. Like everything's like, give me food.
So I mean, the Welsh did wassailing at New Year's too, and you were expected to give out like gold coins or like chocolates or things like that. So like it was kind of a like we went door to door, like my people went door to door several times a year demanding snacks. And I can
Sounds
feel
Also,
like
that
though,
so
licorice.
deeply in my soul.
I feel like it's true though in a lot of those traditions that it wasn't like everybody was expected to deliver. You went to like wealthy people's houses and asked for shit. And then
Right?
they'd be like, here's some stuff. Which I'm like, what happened to that tradition? Because like all of us raid the nice neighborhoods and be like, I want an apple, damn it. Give me
How soon can we get to Jeff Bezos' house? Alban Arthyn is the Welsh name for the winter holiday. And that means light of winter, signifying the defeat of the Holly King, whose rule begins at the summer solstice, by the Oak King, who is represented by the new sun. S-U-N, like sunshine. But also S-O-N, as in father of mine. Alban Arthyn, we
this.
get the tradition of hanging mistletoe, which has green foliage even in winter, proving that life continues to thrive even during the coldest and darkest of days. Evergreen boughs similarly represent life, making them a common adornment in homes. Alban Arthyn originated with Celtic pagan cultures, but is still observed by modern day Druids. Heathen Yule acknowledged the dead of note, much like Samhain. It's the darkest time of the year when the veil is the thinnest, in their cultural opinion, between the living and the deceased. In heathenry magic, Yule is a great time to pay homage to ancestors, divine with ancestors, things like that.
So what is Yule? Yule is named after the week, I'm using finger quotes, week-long festival of the Germanic folk. And there are other Yuletide festivals in this solstice season as well, such as Brumalia. It is the winter solstice festival celebrated in the eastern part of the Roman Empire. And then there's also Saturnalia. It is an ancient Roman festival and holiday in honor of the god Saturn, held on December 17th of the Julian calendar and later expanded with festivities through December 19th. Who celebrated and what are the historical significances? So I went down the route of Norse mythology. So the Norse would celebrate Yule with the wild hunt. Wild hunts typically involved a chase led by a mythological figure escorted by a ghostly or supernatural group of hunters engaged in pursuit. So literally what you're thinking, people, horses, run out, hunt thing, grr, wild hunt. So typically the leader is Odin, and there have been other ones that have also held that position depending on the location, the area, the tale. Some of those include Theodoric the Great, the Danish king Vladimir Atterdag, the dragon slayer Sigurd. Some of these names I cannot say. And then even some biblical figures such as Herod, Cain, Gabriel, or even Lucifer the devil. So it varies. The hunters would typically be those who follow this leader. So it'd be the souls of the dead, sometimes ghostly dogs. There's been tales of fairies, Valkyries, or even elves. And originally, the wild hunt was actually a very peaceful spectacle. So it was more of the group would only hunt dangerous creatures. In years, the legend starts to become a little bit vilified, describing it as an omen of war or plague. The hunt would catch someone. Sometimes innocence would get in the way. and their souls could even be taken from their homes during their sleep. If the wild hunt catches someone, they are likely to be dragged along for miles and never seen again. This has been reinforcing our fears of the dark night and things unknown. Cultural variations, of course, are the modern Christmas, which was known earlier as Christmastide. Yule is an earth-based solstice celebration that is not defined by religion. It is for all people, regardless of sex, location, belief, and more. One can be Christian, atheist, etc., and still be able to celebrate Yule.
What I want to talk about with Yule is Krampus. So Krampus is interesting because a lot of us know Krampus now. I feel like he got really popular in the last few years. There's a movie that came out, the horror movie. Some people think he was pre-Christian. He was a pagan entity that was converted into a Christian entity to be paired along with Saint Nicholas, right? And so while Saint Nicholas will bring you a gift, Krampus will steal you away. Now, unfortunately, in some regions, Krampus got converted even further to represent an anti-Semitic figure. Krampus that people talk about that you'll see at festivals and fairs, this is based much more on the pagan entity that this pre-Christian entity that was in a lot of different cultures, and all he's supposed to represent, the universal representation, I would say, is that he is a wild man of the woods, right? Now Krampus, his description can be unique because he'll have like a human foot and a goat foot, which is pretty specific, right? He has a forked tongue. There are things of that nature, but also some of the things that are specific to Krampus were put on him later as part of that development him as an anti-Semitic character. Okay, so a lot of the original depictions of Krampus really only describe him as a goat type humanoid monster. And that's kind of as far as you get. I think he's a really exciting thing to celebrate because they, for a long time, used to like to scare children, would just put like painted gold twigs in their house all year round. It's a little reminder for your children. You might not see him today, but he'll steal you away some other day. Stories about a Krampus type character, not only, they appear in places like in Germany, but it goes all the way through Europe, through Western Europe, clear into Syria. I love that kind of thing, where multiple cultures are reporting a similar experience anecdotally. Another important thing to point out about Krampus is when he was like the earliest pagan stories of him, which are the hardest to verify, he was also a protective deity. He was both sides. He would either protect your home or rid you of problematic children. So, which is fucked up, but that's kind of the way the story
Win-win.
went. Watch out for Krampus, kids.
So some themes and symbolism of Yule. Yule symbolizes rebirth, renewal, and light. Light in the dark, as this is the longest night of the season. Light can include bonfires, candles, and Christmas lights. There's also mistletoe. Kissing under the mistletoe originated in ancient Greece, where it was celebrated during the festival of Saturnalia. Mistletoe is also a very deadly plant, so do not eat any part of it. The berries, the leaves, the sticks, nothing. You can kiss under it, don't eat it. Mistletoe symbolizes fertility. The white berries of mistletoe were thought to symbolize male fertility in pre-Christian cultures. The Romans associated mistletoe with peace, love, and understanding and hung it over doorways to protect their homes. Norse mythology, Frigga, the goddess of love and marriage, revived her son Balder under a mistletoe tree after Loki, the god of mischief, killed him with a spear made of mistletoe. She then declared mistletoe a symbol of love. In Victorian England, it was believed that a woman who refused to kiss under the mistletoe would not get married that year. You don't want to be a 16-year-old old bag, okay? Kiss under the
What a
mistletoe.
weird way to force someone to kiss you.
There is also wassailing. This is actually the cultural version of hot spiced cider. Typically, this drink would be shared at gatherings to exchange wishes and give offerings in hope of a good harvest.
Heidi and Kristen have the themes and symbols of Yule specifically pretty well hammered out. So I wanted to talk briefly in between the two of them about winter. So winter reminds us all of cycles, right? Everything that begins must come to an end. Every ending is a new beginning. Spiritually, we're coming off of Samhain. We're at the beginning of our new year, which is the end of an old one. Culturally, winter is seen as the beginning of a new year. Winter also represents sleep and silence. It's a really good time for reflection, restoration, preparing to move into your new working space, things like that.
So, Allison, you were just talking about themes. I'm kind of more talking about things I like to do again, or traditions other people have of that nature too. But Yule logs are something I think are really interesting. You can do kind of two versions of them. And we can talk about how you create a Yule log later, but like what you do with it is you take it and you burn it in the fire. And the idea is that you let it burn out. You don't put it out. It's bad luck to put out your Yule log. And while it's burning, you're supposed to sit around the fire and tell stories to each other. Or I like to scry also during that time, just for a little magical me time. So that's kind of the simplified version or the short version. The long version is where you throw a party and everybody brings a log and you throw it into a bonfire and you party until the bonfire goes out. And that, my friends, is a rager. That is called a Yule rager. I feel like it's obvious, but maybe it's not. But Christmas trees weren't originally a Christmas tree, right? It was just a tree that people brought into their homes. They brought in evergreen trees to symbolize that life continues on through the winter and that some things are even still green in the winter. It was also a great way to actually like keep your home lit. It's definitely very ambiance. I thought another little interesting side note was that here in the States, the tree that people brought in their homes in the holiday was a distinctly pagan thing until like the 1840s. Then people started to accept it as a Christmas tree, but we were Puritans coming here. And so we were real stingy in our beliefs and were very late in the game to accept Christmas trees as a Christmas tradition.
We've been traveling together down a dark path. Now it's time to take a break and listen to some of our sponsors. A Dark Path will return after these messages.
Light the way on your dark path with Wise Wolf Craft's unique selection of tools for living with intention. From manifestation kits to altar items and divination tools, we have everything you need to connect with your inner wisdom. Wise Wolf Craft offers Reiki and other energy healing sessions, divination readings, and a variety of classes on topics like intuitive tarot and personalized spell work. Unleash the power within. Visit Wise Wolf Craft today online at wisewolfcraft.com and on Facebook and Instagram as @WiseWolfCraft. Wise Wolfcraft, tools for living with intention. Needing guidance on your dark path? Explore the mysterious world of Jupiter's Omens, offering handmade rituals, spells, and tools to focus your intention during spell work, vintage altar tools and decor, and intuitive tarot sessions utilizing claircognizance. Visit Jupiter's Omens, where the mystical and macabre meet, at jupitersomens.square.site. That's jupitersomens.square.site.
Little fact about me, I am allergic to pretty much everything that grows outside in some way or form. And trees, pine, pollen is very, very triggering. So I get asthma attacks and different things like that, as well as rashes. So I cannot own a Christmas tree. I cannot have pine wreaths. I cannot do that sort of thing. So I will often do different things like bringing in pine cones. I often have bells. Gold and silver are usually very prominent. And then you can bring in snow as an offering. Typically, I'll just kind of partially fill whatever offering bowl that I have and set that out. And then any kind of holiday lights or fairy lights, brightening up the space. And if you can get a little bit of a mystical kind of magical feeling from it, why not? It's fun. Enjoy it. Allison, what kind of stuff do you do for your altar?
My altar, I love to do candle stuff in general, and wintertime is no exception. In fact, the candle game gets turned up, as you could say. Things get lit, as you could say. Everybody's laughing at me. I like to decorate in general with red, green, white, and silver. I love to have natural elements in my holiday decor and for my altar as well. So things like wood, any kind. We're talking sticks, cut wood, logs, whatever I got. Orange slices, love to dry orange slices. Cinnamon sticks, I'll use those as for like smoke cleansing instead of other things. fun fact, and it makes your house smell freaking delicious. Burnt cinnamon is amazing, guys. Branches, like I said, branches, twigs, pine cones, any pine cones that I find out on a walk. I have like a park behind my house, so I'll just go out and whatever I find on the ground out there, I'll typically bring inside and put it on my altar. Heidi's laughing at me. I also use pine room spray. I don't have like real pine stuff in the house very often because I'm worried that my animals are going to eat it. So I'll use sprays on my curtains, which are giant. They're like 120 inches or something like that. I'll spray them down so that they like emit fragrance into the space for a few days and then spray them down again. But it's a nice way to infuse your space with that scent without committing to like a giant real tree. Heidi, how about you? What do you do for your altar?
I think we all have like some things that sound like in common because those are all lovely things. Some of them I do, some of them I don't, but they all sound amazing and I might do them all now. Lots of candles, right? Candles, of course. I also do that really like kind of smell good depending on who you are sort of thing where you take an orange and you poke little holes into it and then you shove cloves into the holes and it makes a really nice aroma and you can leave it out. And some people even string them and put them in their trees and stuff. They're really cute. I also, I do lots of animal things this time of year, especially animals that like change color for the time of year. I find that really interesting. So I have like a lot of like white foxes and white rabbits, owls, Pacific Northwest winter tiny animals you can imagine. So I even have like sometimes I'll even have bear because I feel like I think about bear this time of year because of hibernation, right? Evergreen tree stuff. And then something a little different that I didn't hear either of you guys say, but I like to do something to represent the sun. It'll be like sunflowers, or I'll do like different depictions of the sun, either through like artwork or statues or things of that nature. Anybody do any cool rituals this time of year?
Oh, do we?
Oh,
Kristen looks like she has some good one.
One or two occasionally. The winter solstice season is the best time. You can do a simmer pot anytime, but oh my gosh, it hits different in the winter. You just put all of your ingredients into a pot with some water and just let it simmer on the top of your stove. I highly recommend making sure it's a very low simmer so it lasts longer and you don't burn your ingredients. Safety first, sitting in front of the fire, feeling comfortable, feeling relaxed, feeling warm. You're able to kind of take in with multiple senses, it's a touch thing, it's almost like an inner warmth. It helps, you can physically see it, you can hear it crackle, you can smell whatever is burning, and it really helps to, I guess, in a way ground me, even now that I'm kind of thinking about it.
The classic gift exchange, which is a great ritual to do with people you love and people you don't. I work pretty closely with an ancient bear deity, and bears teach us that winter is a time for transformation. You go to sleep and you wake up and come out in springtime anew. It's a great time to do shadow work. Take emotional stock and mental stock of the energy that you're expending. See where it's well founded and see where it's vampiric. It's also a really good time to make a new planner if you're like me, and you enjoy making your own. This is a good time of year to start. You could also purchase a planner and start doing that whole thing if that's more your vibe. And making a vision board, starting to think about the year ahead, what you want it to look like. Like I said, rest, reflection, and then shifting that into preparation.
I feel like thematically, a lot of the things we do are similar. And Kristen, like, I agree, totally simmer pots like mad. But I do a lot of fire stuff. I feel like little reminder for everybody burning at home. I can't, and I'm like, oh, here's a reminder about something I can't remember all the details about. But you should be careful because you can only burn hardwood or softwood indoors. I cannot remember which. You need to look it up. But either way, one of them will mess up your chimney and start chimney fires. I suppose I could look it up right now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that up to you. That'll be another one. And write the answer in the comments. And the first one to tell me if it's hardwood or softwood and be accurate will get a prize from me. It's going to be a lot of
Let
that.
me do it right now.
It's cold. Get in the water. Get in some warm water. Give yourself a ritual bath. That's a
Ooh,
great
that's a
suggestion.
really good suggestion. I've never done a Yule ritual bath before.
Oh, well, you should.
Probably
would
because
be
it's
you can-
cold.
Yeah.
But you still
And
have
I
warm
like
water.
I'm gonna do a ritual polar bear plunge.
you could do that too.
Yeah.
Just respect your body and your limits. And if you're somebody who has heart condition, talk to your doctor before you get really hot and
Oh
then
yeah.
really cold.
I mean, you're going to talk about it in a few minutes here too.
Oh, I chose to talk about it right then.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. So spell work ideas and focus around this time of year. I like to focus on abundance. I might be showing my Taurus a little too much again, but I love food. So holding a Yule feast, whether it's with friends, family, or just, you and your roommate, maybe it's you and your cat, I don't know. Having that time to just sit down and enjoy, take a moment to express gratitude for all the abundance that you have in your life, reflect on that. Use that time to connect with the Earth's energy and the Earth's cycles. It's also time for reflection and introspection. So that also kind of comes with redoing the past year, assessing your personal growth, setting intentions for your future.
Because it's a stressful time of year, I would personally focus on rebirth, calm, and kindness. So rebirth, I would have be a separate thing that's just for me. So you're going to want to do cleansing things, exercising or exorcism, just to be clear, not like hoof hoof exercising, but like, Lord, give me strength. Why did I say that?
Exercising like the power of Christ compels you.
For rebirth stuff, I would probably do a really simple spell with like clove and chamomile, and then something else focus more on like emotional support. And then probably some stuff like forward looking for the new year, kind of leaving things behind. I think this would be a great time to do something like that. And then a separate spell for calm and kindness that you can like sneakily do on everyone that you're going to be around. So if you're going to a party, maybe you take a simmer pot and you just do magic with the simmer pot to help everybody feel kind of chilled, right? So I'm talking like apple, cinnamon, rose petals, stuff like that. So like we've got like some good vibes going on in the air. You could even sprinkle some of that stuff across your table, probably not like apples unless they're dried, right? But like, use it as like a potpourri or like decor, right? Infuse those elements into what you have going on. It's a really mundane way that you can kind of affect the vibe of the space, help people in your home be more comfortable, or if you're going to visit people, help them be more chill. And it's not anything that hurts anybody. That would be my focus, especially the calm and kindness stuff, especially when getting together with people that you find triggering.
Getting comfortable with discomfort. This time of year, we do a lot of comfort stuff as well. But when we get comfortable in discomfort, that's where a lot of our growth happens. And while I'm trying to restore myself, I often find restoration and expansion can go hand in hand. And so I like to use this time of year to prepare, restore, expand, and they'll kind of happen simultaneously for me. So I know that's a little bit of a hot take, but it is what it is. So getting comfortable with discomfort, I would say, would be another focus area.
So some crafting ideas for the season. I'm sure you probably all know. I'm going to say simmer pots. It's an easy, quick way that you can craft something. And the best part is that you can use any ingredient that would go well in a simmering pot of water. That's going to smell to your liking. If you have certain scents that you prefer or certain things that you want to do with the simmer pot, you can kind of match that with your different ingredients. A big one for me also is alternative wreath. So again, I'm allergic to pine, so I cannot have pine wreaths. Paper flowers, branches, or stems. You can also use fabric flowers, cinnamon sticks, pine cones, ribbons, bells. If you have ivy or vines, you can use those as well. Fairy lights or holiday lights. You can even use clay to make little cute items or creatures, animals that you might want to incorporate into the wreath. You can also include candy, elf, or anything else your Yule heart desires.
Another fun thing that you can make are witch balls. So they're basically little spell balls in glass ornament jars. They're super fun, super easy, and they look so cute out and about. Some people hang them on their tree if they have a tree. Some people hang them in doorways or in windows. You could even use them as table decoration, things like that. You could do a deconstructed witch ball as like a salt bowl on your table as a centerpiece, which would be really pretty. Another fun craft to do would be salt dough ornaments or salt dough candle holders, or you could even make them like ginger or cinnamon to kind of infuse that magical aspect. You could even put pine inside, which would be super fun. DIY wrapping paper is another fun thing that you could do. I'm one of those people that saves all of my packing material, like when I receive packages throughout the year, all of that brown paper that they pack it with, and then I use it as wrapping paper. You can like doodle all over it, write little messages and stuff. It's super cute and like super personalized. And you could do sigils or write out protection spells, write things out in other languages, which would be really pretty. Also, orange slice ornaments and garlands are so fun. Really easy to slice and dehydrate orange slices. There's so many beautiful ideas on Pinterest where you hang like crystals from them or stones from them, or you can just hang them up as is, right? Or string them together to make a garland. I find them so beautiful and it represents the sunshine as well, especially if you hang it up in a window and the sunlight comes through it like stained glass. They're so pretty. A very traditional Americana thing to do would be to make a cranberry or popcorn garland. I don't personally know the logistics of that, though I love the look of it. I have a wood bead garland, which has like similar vibes, but doing cranberries would be very witchy, if you ask me.
For some reason, stringing things is something I've done. We've done popcorn, we've done cranberries, but we've also done jalapenos. That's another one we do. And I don't know if that is something other people do. So you'll just have to let me know if that's something you do.
I
But
feel
we're
like my
stringing
dog would eat
jalapenos.
it. I'm
Do
jealous.
not poke yourself stringing jalapenos and then lick your fingers if you're sensitive to capsaicin because it
Ooh.
will fucking hurt. Anyhow. So I do like ice lanterns. I think I talked about that last time, but just for a brief explanation, it's where you take a bucket and then put a smaller bucket inside, fill it with water, and the space in between is what's going to create the lantern when you freeze it. You also put stuff in the water that's freezing, and by stuff I mean components or correspondence for the time of year. So for Yule, you could do cranberries or holly or mistletoe or evergreen or pine cones or whatever, and kind of place it around the outside. And don't place it too carefully because when it freezes, it's going to shift, and that will bum you out if you've had a lot of time trying to place them. And then when you're done freezing it, you'll pop it out of the containers and you can put a candle in it and it creates a really beautiful effect. There's one on my Instagram page at Wise Wolfcraft if you want to check that out. Something I like to do when I'm doing like a Yule log or a ritual log for one of our fire festivals is I'll take a good sized piece of log, like maybe 12 inches, drill a hole in the middle of it, fill that with components for the seasons, just whatever calls you inside. And then I seal it with wax, right? Because wax is super flammable. And then you throw the whole thing into the fire. And the idea is you're casting a spell, you're giving an offering, and then you scry. Making in general, baking stuff for people with all of your love and intention.
That's a good segue into like personal household traditions. We tend to watch a digital Yule log, which I know it's super lame to you guys because you have actual like fire mechanisms, but like we don't. I mean, we have a
Still watch
fireplace, but
it.
like I said, we're strangers, not friends. So like I have no, that's I we're getting there. So we watch it on like my computer and like have it going while we decorate our tree and stuff. I also do like an infused champagne or ginger ale drink with like fresh rosemary, cranberries, and diced apple, which is to die for. I should make it more throughout the year, but and then we'll make like a roast with, so it's not like a beef roast because we're mostly vegetarian. But potatoes, Brussels sprouts, carrots, and sauerkraut. I'll do like a biscuit wreath for breakfast in the morning, and then we like to have hot cocoa and drive around and look at lights.
That's so awesome. I'm definitely very, very centered around food. Love food. Food is good. Food is life. I just thought of the Shrek is life. She's not there, and I'm really sorry. With the turkey during the holiday season, you'd have the wishbone, and one person grabs one side, one person grabs the other side, and they pull, and at the same time, they make a wish. And whoever has the longer piece, their wish is the one that's going to come true. Another thing is also there's the Yule log cake, I believe. And so it's just like a spiral, delicious, yummy cake. And who doesn't want to eat that? I mean,
So
come on.
good.
And then the last one, I always forget Krasenkaka. Krasenkak. Kakakak. Kransekake.
Yeah, it is.
My great grandma used to make it. It's a Norwegian cookie, basically, and it's a tower of cookies going from larger to smaller all the way up.
Almond
Coffee
cookie
cake.
tower.
Oh my gosh, almond cookies are so good. Shut up.
This is one that I saw, but they say a lot of times the cookies are star-shaped. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that's it.
That's so
Yeah, it's
cool.
like that every winter like holiday she would make it. It was just a delight. It was wonderful.
We totally bake also, just by the way. Like food for sure. For full on, sure. Food, yes. We already talked about simmer pots. I talked about the sun a little bit, but I also bust out sun catchers this year. So if I'm getting like any light, I'm getting it magnified and thrown all over my house because I need it. And it makes rainbows, which makes my daughter say, "There's rainbows on my skin," which is hilarious because she's like not 3 yet, and it just drives me wild. I love it. Sometimes I boil snow water, so it bothers me. I think it's dirty, so I have to do it. So I don't know how other people feel. This can be one of those write-in Heidi's crazy situations, but I think you need to boil it. And then I put it in like toner and I put it in lotions and that kind of thing. So I can use it for more. I never consume it. I can't get myself to consume it. I don't know that. I'm sure, like maybe I'm paranoid. I don't know, but I just play it safe. I'm a little wimpy girl when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, and I don't mean girls are wimpy. I mean, I am physically a girl and am wimpy. I also drink a lot of like warm drinks with intention. So like I said, tea specifically, and that's true, but also like ciders and like mulled spices and that kind of thing. I used to drink a lot of hot alcohol when I was drinking like hot toddies and Tom and Jerry's and that kind of thing. Yeah, and you know, my ritual logs, offerings, lots of gift giving, lots of storytelling, lots of merriment making. That's Yule.
Well, this year we're gonna have a party together before Yule, which will be fun.
I
Yay!
am ridiculously excited.
I'm
Um,
excited too.
I don't want to make everyone on the planet jealous, but our September celebration was off the hook.
It's all
It
the
was
girls
amazing.
from Reiki class. I'm excited. Like I've wanted to have like a not like a coven get together, right? But like a
Grouping of
friend
like
Oh,
get
minds.
together, right? Like
Yeah.
a yeah, and it's not been like a reality. So I'm excited that it's gonna happen this year. I'm really hoping Kristen will make some wassail.
and we'll do
I want to.
karaoke. We could
I love it.
carol. Oh my God, we should sing to your neighbors.
Do you celebrate Yule, Heidi?
Yeah, I celebrate anything, everything I get a chance to celebrate. Tell me
Anything and
and I will
everything?
celebrate. I love celebrating. Yes.
What about you, Kristen?
Let's
Do
do a
do
party.
you personally celebrate Yule or do you celebrate Christmas or like what do you do?
I do both also.
You do
I
both?
I do this social family stuff. I don't
Yeah.
love it, but my family does, and I love them enough to do it for them.
Well,
But
last year
then
you came to
also,
my house.
yeah, it was more of a winter solstice. Let's celebrate the time with the friends and the people that we have
It
versus
was
like
lame.
you're obligated to go see these people and
Yeah.
eat their terrible food.
We had
I
food
kind
and
of
Kristen brought wassail and then I made everybody watch a documentary on Mari Lewis.
I just want to
we
say
did.
that's a hilarious to me. That was like you're like well, our party last year. I made everyone watch a documentary.
Oh, yeah.
That's my kind of party, dog. That's I
Maybe
would say
she'll
we
come
could
back and do it again. I don't know.
crochet socks while we're sitting there. We could crochet stockings.
Hell
I
yeah.
would love that. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you to our listeners for coming along this journey with our Yuletide. And thank you, Heidi, so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. We always love having you.
Oh, I absolutely love being here with you, ladies. A pleasure and a privilege as always to speak with you.
We are always looking to connect with you guys. If you have any topics you would like us to discuss, any questions for us, anything you want to call Heidi out on, no, or you want to get to know us, please send us
Correction.
an email at adarkpathpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's a darkpathpodcast@gmail.com. You can always follow us on Instagram at a dark path podcast. Thank you for listening and joining us on this journey, on this Yuletide journey down a dark path.
It is now that our time together must come to an end. Thank you for joining us on this journey, a dark path come to a bend. Find us here bi-monthly on your favorite place to stream, and follow us on social media for news in between. A dark path is there, winding and waiting ever. May you craft peace, knowledge, and alignment, so shall it be, or something better.